Hey everyone, welcome to Open Hybrid. I'm Rhina, your host of Café con Leche. For the next hour, coming to you from Chari Executive Suite, inviting you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So our first guest is the founder of the Bronx Gaming Network, a safe and inclusive community-centered space dedicated to gaming, digital art, and content creation for those that are underrepresented in the mainstream media. They provide creative tech education, professional development, and mentorship to gamers and creatives of all ages. Here now to share more is the Bronx Gaming Network founder, Rudy Blanco.
Hey, how are you? Rhina, thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure. That's a lot. I'm a new founder, by the way. I wanted to put that out there, and I'm just so excited to be sharing our story with you all. And as Rhina said, I am the founder of the Bronx Gaming Network, located right here in the Bronx. We are New York City friendly, but we do the Bronx, and we program for the Bronx and create experiences for our communities here.
I love it. Oh my God. I'm like jealous, Rudy, because you just designed a lifestyle for yourself that says, I'm going to be a kid for the rest of my life.
I get a lot of slack for it, but I'm here for it. Like it's been a long battle. I've taught for the New York City Department of Education for over 15 years. And my 6 years in, my students were very clear, like gaming, tech, right? Coding, all sorts of things related to technology and education and entertainment were things that they were really, really excited about. So we created programming, and fast forward to today, and now we're a whole company and a whole space dedicated to doing this work and putting folks on the pathway to careers in gaming and creative tech.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you're a visionary, darling, because, it's here to stay. And as much as we want it, no, you're a visionary. You're ahead of the game, right? And I'm sharing that on air because it is so true. As a parent, I struggle with the whole gaming situation, but the fact of the matter is that there's one aspect of the gaming that we need to take into consideration. Like my daughter's into Roblox and so forth. And the one thing I will say is that was their salvation during the pandemic. That was how they were able to socialize with each other, and that's not something that should be overlooked, because that is now part of their culture.
Absolutely. Right? It's an identity forming thing, right? And I was explaining, we were talking before, and this idea of over the last 5 years just having to work and explain to other adults, parents, educators, administrators, lawmakers around the relevance of gaming and online games to this particular generation. And like what you were saying, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up playing Manhunt and Freeze Tag outside, playing with the pompa, the little roller skates with the 4 wheels, not even the rollerblades. Like,
you speak
right?
my language, you speak my language.
I grew up doing that and out there. And even then, I remember my mom always having issues with, oh, make sure you're in before it gets dark, or make sure, this is going down. But it's different now, and even before the pandemic, a lot of our young people were that's where they were congregating, a moment after school where if you're done with what you should be doing, which is in this case, homework and assignments, you get a chance to go hang out with your friends. Now, the only thing is that they get to do it at home, right? Under the comfort of home, under the, care of the family that they're with. But at the same time, it doesn't ignore the fact that there's a lot of things that happen in these online environments and online communities that didn't necessarily happen when we were growing up, right, out in the streets. And a lot of that is about safety, right? And a lot of parents, they want their kids to be safe, but because they have no interest in the medium and in gaming, right, they just don't dive in. But they're aware of the bad parts, right? So I've been just getting into this place where, how do we work with parents to teach them, hey, this is a good thing, one, for their social emotional development, right? But also, how do we teach them to be safe? at the end of the day, the truth is what I communicate to parents is that we can't eliminate, toxicity from the world, and we can't eliminate all the violence and stuff, but what we can do is prepare them to deal with that, right? And what we do at BGN when we work with our gaming mentors and our younger gamers is we show them how to block, how to make sure that when they're playing with friends, that they're going to worlds that are appropriate, and being able to pinpoint and figure out what those things are things that are not curricular, Rena, if that makes
Right.
sense. And
Right. Yeah, I
educators,
get it. No, because that is the world we're actually heading into, and it's good that you're educating all ages. So that's a great segue into. So it's just walk us through some of your programming and the age brackets and what these programs consist of.
absolutely. So before I explain the programming, there's one thing that I'm very, very passionate about, and it's this idea of community before competition, right? New York City is moving in a particular way around bringing in funding for game design and esports, which is like competitive gaming. Not everyone wants to do that, right? So one of the things that we do is community before competition, right? So over these last year and a half, we were building online community for a while. And what I mean by this is safe places for people to either come play together, come watch others play, or just hang out with others. And in doing so, we were able to develop a few programs that there's 3 that we're working on right now. The first is a program that's meant for young ones, right? Which is a mentorship program. Think Big Brother, Big Sister, right? But gaming, where we connect young folks, whether at the high school level, right, or at the college age or industry level. And we pair them with young ones, not for formal instruction per se, but straight up, how are you? How was your day? Like, what's bothering you? What's getting to you, right? And then we work really hard to train these mentors to utilize these gaming platforms as a way for them to really provide that mentorship.
Okay, so before you move on to the next thing, just for clarity purposes, do these mentors operate through the gaming networks, or is this an in-person exchange?
It's a mixture of both, because we're learning
Okay.
a lot, right? When we first started on Twitch, it was mostly online, and we had, cases of Bronx streamers and content creators who we touched base with the parents, and we watched them and we took care of them while we were on stream, right? So there were people who were live playing a game, and we knew that we had, through privacy stuff, we knew that we had some of our young mentees in these chats. So we worked with them and we showed them what good streaming looks like, right? Like mindful of the language and who you engage and who you do not engage. But we've also found that over the last year, some folks just want to bring their kids in. And in those cases, we invite them here, and we have a kids corner where our gamer mentors sit down with the young ones and they play Roblox and they show them different worlds and give them a sense of what they can and can't be doing. But most importantly, we connect them with other young ones in their age group so they can continue to have self-moderated play instead of relying on randos and people who are just weird online,
Got it. So what's that age bracket for the kids corner?
So for the kids corner, we usually invite folks in ages 10 to about 13. By the time they get to middle school, we're beginning them in some of our just mentorship programs, in that they come in, they get to learn more about the games they're passionate about. We start exposing them to some of our programs that we do in collaboration with the Dreamyard Project. So Dreamyard Project, who, they're all over the Bronx. They've been around for 27 years. I'm an employee of Dreamyard, slowly, transitioning to running BGN, but we also bring them in through there. And at the high school level, that's where we really, really get in. So we do things like gaming and journalism. We have high schoolers that are right now, the space that we have here, we have a group that's getting paid by Summer Youth Employment to design a music festival in this game called PlayStation Dreams that is going to put local businesses in there. It's going to create, assets from around the Bronx to show the dreams verse and the PlayStation world that the Bronx exists, not just as a physical borough, but also in the assets and the worlds that we are creating online.
Right, which is the world we're leading into. And that was a lot of information for anyone who's unfamiliar with any of this language to digest. However, I'm just trying to like simplify it, right? Because
Sorry.
no, it's great, but it's good that we're having this conversation because it's real. And the fact of the matter is that I'm hoping that at least through this conversation, we're piquing the interest of some parent that may be watching to have a better understanding of what
Mhm.
their child is involved in, right? Because there's
Absolutely.
the turn on and shut off point, but what's going on in between, and that's when it's of no interest. Then you're kind of leaving it out, to explore whatever it is that they want. And so,
Mhm.
without offending any gamer that may be watching in the age range of 7 to 13, but that program that you were just referencing is called Gamer Sitter, right?
Yep.
I said that
Well, that's the
really
thing. The young ones don't mind gamer sitter, but don't tell a high schooler that it's a gamer sitter. It's a gamer coach. At that age, they don't want to be sat. They want to be coached.
right. Okay, so fine. And then you mentioned Twitch, and then you also mentioned the youth that's employed over the summer. I'm going to assume they're coming in under the Content Creators Academy from the Bronx. Is that
So
correct?
that one, this is actually the one that we're doing here is a summer youth employment program offered by the Dream Yard Project. So that isn't our Content Creators Academy. We actually did put a hold on Content Creators Academy because, interestingly enough, a lot of parents had young ones that were 8 to 11 who wanted to be on Twitch, but it wasn't an appropriate place for them to be. So we kind of shuttled the program down a little bit just because we want to focus again on that community piece so that when we're ready to teach young people how to become content creators, they have a few years of experience of engaging with them, talking with them, meeting with them. Because we also want to be mindful of them. We want to protect them because being live and going live, like it's a lot of work, especially for the adults related to those young ones. And if a parent doesn't even care about the video game they're playing, I can guarantee you they're gonna not want to jump on Twitch to go watch them play this video game.
Right. And so we're out of time, but I really think it's so important that we also elaborate a little further on the functions of Twitch because, I know there's somebody on and I'm not really even that familiar with Twitch. So, really quickly, in the most succinct manner, give us a breakdown of what happens in that Twitch community.
Got it. So Twitch is essentially a channel where gamers and not just gamers, people who want to stream to the world or live stream to the world can jump on, go live, and on this platform build a
When you say
community.
go live, they're on camera.
They're on camera, yes. So
Just
what
to
I
be
mean
clear.
by go live, so Twitch is a platform where folks can get on camera, right? Connect their PlayStations, their computers, their radios, whatever it is, and they can do a live stream to the world where then people can join them in chat and they can think TikTok, right? Or those Instagram lives. It's just a platform specifically for gamers to do this. And it's so popular because it's essentially modern TV, right? Anyone can create a channel for free. And if you grow the right viewership, you can start bringing in income, right? We've had young people, even at the middle school ages to high school, who started on Twitch and within 3 weeks were making income, because as we build communities in person, those in-person eyes turn into Twitch viewers as well. So a lot of folks who wouldn't have normally had exposure, right, and viewership are now in a place where they can speak to their community directly. And it's not just for gaming. You have people who do cooking, who do music, who do DJs, who do modeling, who do sewing. I mean, you name it, it's on Twitch. And what we're trying to do at BGN is create a real hyper local Twitch environment, so we can bring the money home. You know how it is.
And not only that, they can afford the coaching in finances as well, right? So
Absolutely.
that if there's a coach there guiding them along the way, everything is kind of kept copacetic as opposed to
Hmm.
just rolling in the dough in whatever way that they can, which is also something that needs to be looked out for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Rena.
Listen, you and I can go on and on and on. So what's going to happen?
Forever.
We're going to have you on again at some other point in your development because I think all of this is very fascinating, and I think it's important that the whatever generation X and Z are aware of. Well, the Z is the ones that are actually active in on this platform, and but X is at least interested enough to understand all the dynamics, because there's so many layers to
Hmm.
this, and so many new platforms and innovative ways for them to connect, that it's a little challenging to keep track of. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I want to thank you for taking
You.
it upon yourself to incorporate your educational background and honor the reality of where we are right now, right? Because this is the modern way of not only creating community but even learning. So because there is a learning component to this as well. Just because they're gaming, don't think that it's just about gaming. There's other things they're learning in that process. But we're gonna have to say that for another time
Let's
because
do it.
but thank you so much, Rudy, for what
Thank
you're
you, Rhina.
doing. And really quickly before we go, if people wanted to participate and become part of the Bronx Gaming Network, what do they need to do?
So if you want to learn a little bit more, participate in our awesome events, join us on Instagram at the Bronx Gaming Network. We post all of our events there. You can also go to our website, thebronxgamingnetwork.com. Feel free to sign up to our newsletter, and we hope to see you in one of our local adult game nights, which happens the last Thursday of every month, or our community game nights here in our game space, which happens the first 2 Fridays of every month. And you can get all of that on our social media.
Woo, I love that. All inclusive, mi gente.
Ya lo sabe. Vengan uno, vengan todos.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
Aquí
I love it.
jugamos todos.
That's it. Children at heart forever. Rudy Blanco, everybody, Bronx Gaming Network founder. And once again, for more information, you can visit the BronxGamingNetwork.com and or follow them on Instagram at Bronx Gaming Network. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a holistic workshop and services dedicated to Bronx residents. Don't go anywhere.